damage we experienced here at this intersection was the most costly probably for traffic signals. We lost a complete, mast arm and pole. As far as the biggest impact though, absolutely is our culverts and any pipes essentially constructed of plastic melted in the fire. We used to do about 25, 35 single family homes on a good year. And so in this type of situation, we're obviously hopeful for hundreds and eventually thousands of homes to be rebuilt per year. We're having planning, visioning sessions about what strengths and weaknesses did the community have before and what are our opportunities moving forward to have a safer place to live. Otherwise, we're working on our phase 2 of our tree assessment and removal. We've estimated well over 300,000 dead and dying trees within town limits. What's the one thing that I look back and I'm sure glad we did and did it well would be absolutely educating the public and working with them. We practice one-way evacuation to where in an evacuation event there may be a circumstance where you need to drive on the wrong side of the road, as counterintuitive as that sounds. But that decision and that training, that education, that participation by the public saved so many lives on November 8th.
So the night of the fire, we got a sort of call saying, hey, there's a fire coming. So my husband tried to jump in the car, get here. By the time he was trying to get here, fire had overtaken the routes to get here. So he had to turn back. And before he even got back, we started seeing the pictures on social media of very high flames at our front gates. We found out the next day everything was gone. So the homes, the outbuildings, the winemaking building, the event center, tasting room. One of the things that we have eliminated is all wood decking, and then all our upper decks around the main room is going to be made out of a tile.
We're stuck with the stucco for the majority of the building because again, that's pretty good and it meets the requirements for fire-resistant construction for the wild urban interface areas. And then we went with a cementitious plank tile to cover some of the other surfaces to again give them something that's a more fire-resistant surface. Wild urban interface areas, the codes are a lot more stringent than they have on the average spot, so the venting systems have to be either intumescent or a really fine-grained mesh. So that's going to help keep the embers out of the structure. The glazing systems have to be tempered. A lot of the structures that went down, the actual heat from the fire ignited stuff inside the building. So the fire started from within. So that's the reason for the tempered glazing and some of the other issues they have.
Due to the fire rebuild, there's a major draw on concrete resources and lumber resources. So this developer has decided to use steel framing, which is a resilient product. It currently meets the urban wildland fire interface, the WUI, which is what we're all familiar with. And we see a lot of this going on right now, more than we have in the past.
The fire definitely highlighted the fact that we have to do things differently, that we have to be prepared in a different way. And so what we found was that we had 2 years to come up with a system and approach to get people back into homes. That means getting people through the debris cleanup process, having people find an architect, design a home, get it to our office, have us do a plan check, have them hire a contractor, build it, we inspect it, and final it all in 2 years and do 3,000 of those. We focused on the turnaround times to get first plan checks turned around in about 5 days. As people are rebuilding, they're building to current code standards, which addresses energy efficiency, water efficiency, seismic safety, fire safety. So that overall rebuild will be much more resilient than it was in the past. So all homes will be sprinkled, and if in the WUI area there'll be additional elements such as setbacks and clearing space.
All right, we're almost over the machine.
We're discussing our Ridgeline Shaded Fuel Break project, where we've cleared out fuels that are along the ridgeline here in Angwin. And basically we're making it so that CAL FIRE can stand a better shot at coming up and preventing a fire from cresting our ridgeline in the east in the Pope Valley area and coming over the hill here into Angwin.
So we've got this big ridge line, again 2.7 miles. So we cleared fuels not only on top of the ridge line, but also downhill from the ridge line. A lot of the big fires actually we've had recently, being like the Paradise fires, that Valley fire is telling you about, it's from dry winds coming from the northeast.
What we have here is a Cat 522B feller buncher. The head will come up and it will come on top of a tree, and it literally just goes down and it eats up the whole tree as the 2 cylinders are spinning. So up here we see we are standing on the location of our shaded fuel break. What we've got is a 120-foot wide zone that was cleared using the masticator that we just recently looked at. Basically, any tree that was less than 8 inches in diameter at breast height, or DBH, was removed. So this thinning work actually had a much lighter impact on the ground. This is work that we're going to be doing more broadly throughout the property. But right on our ridgeline, we really needed to have a significant reduction in fuels, ground up, kind of to ground level.
This has never been done, and so what an opportunity to do it and show the world and show the country that, that we can recover and do it better than ever.